Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Discord Brats. I'm Chris, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Red.
Hey everyone, how you doing today?
So this weekend was actually pretty interesting. Red and I met up yet again, and there was a lot of events that had happened. A lot
It,
of unforeseen events.
it started out as a complete disaster, to be honest.
It really did. You want to elaborate on that, Red?
Yeah, well, on the ride up, a truck driver didn't signal, and I was going a little bit fast because I was in the left lane, which, as you should know, is the lane for crime.
Crime.
So I was going a bit fast, and this
Mhm.
truck driver, semi-truck driver, zips into the left lane without signaling. And if my brakes were not fucking legendary, I probably would have smashed into the truck.
That's a little scary.
And then we get to the hotel. But get this, our
Mhm.
room wasn't ready, so we had to rent a secondary apartment until 1 o'clock. Because we both got there around 9?
No, earlier than that. I got there around 6:30.
Right,
You got there
6,
around 7
yeah, around
in the
6, 7
morning.
in the morning.
We both
And
left at like 3 a.m.
And we took a nap. Then we went to our room. But the room was all fucked up and needed maintenance. So they had to move us to a different room.
Because
And
the original room that we got was supposed to have a whirlpool in it. And the people that rented it before us apparently fucked up the whirlpool, so they said that the maintenance would take it till later this week. So they put us into a regular suite. But I mean, it was still a suite, which is pretty nice, instead of like a
yeah,
regular room.
and then it took longer for them to get that room ready than they said. So
Oh my god.
we got into the room, and then it started doing a little bit better. And then we realized we don't have a plan now that we're up here. Which, as you know from one of the previous episodes, Chris cannot do planless events. She needs a plan.
No, we did have a plan because the plan was to go into the pool. Because they had an indoor pool
Oh,
and an
right.
indoor hot
They had
tub.
a and,
But
and
that plan got fucked up because it was close to COVID, and my dumbass forgot to, when I called to schedule the thing, forgot, hey, maybe you should ask them if the pool is open instead of saying, hey, Red, make sure you bring a bathing suit, bring a bathing suit, bring a bathing suit. Like, we're gonna go in the pool. We have a plan. No. Instead, it was just, haha, you want to go in the pool? Nope. You can't do that either.
no whirlpool, no pool. So thankfully, she had me, and I'm good at improvising. So Chris is interested in shooting guns, archery. She wants to get into that, and horses. So we were in rural Pennsylvania, and
Rural.
I was fixing up a dress. So first thing we did was actually go to this fabric store out in rural Pennsylvania, and the entire hour and a half drive up to that area, Chris here was freaking out about the cows, the horses, the Amish that we saw. And I was just casually doing it like, oh, there's the Amish. Now I have to slow down, unfortunately. And Chris here was just freaking out, super excited, getting me excited about that stuff again because of how
Because
energetic she was.
I'm a
Explain
city
why.
girl. I'm a city girl, okay? I grew up in Staten Island. I grew up around New York City. I was constantly there as a kid. I'm around big buildings and buses and, a lot of people. You can't, listen, you could take the city girl out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the girl. Like, that's just how it is.
That
Like,
that is true. Yeah.
I never seen this stuff before in my entire life. Like, I've seen TikToks and stuff and, like, videos, but, like, being up close and personal, number one, with a horse and carriage, just like everyday normal thing. Okay, they're just doing their own thing, or being like quite literally like 10 feet away from a cow, which I've never been so close to one before in my life. Um, I got uber excited about the fact that I saw a white and black cow because in my eyes, I've only seen like, even when I'm like passing them, I've only seen like either black or brown cows. I don't see the white and black ones. And to me, they look like the cartoon ones, like you see on like the milk jugs and stuff like that. So I call them cartoon cows because
Yeah.
they're white and black.
She was completely enthusiastic, and we passed the first one. I saw it. I'd made no thought of it because it's just a cow. And Chrissy goes, "It's a cartoon cow, and we just passed a cartoon cow." I'm like, "The fuck is she on about?" Then I had her explain herself, and it was just a white and black cow. I was like, "Oh, okay." But
I mean, I've never seen it.
it was absolutely amazing. And after we got back from that, that was when we needed something to do.
Right.
So, why don't you tell them what we did next? Because we didn't, that quote unquote sketchy store to help jog your memory.
Okay, number one, let me say something. All the stores, it looks like they just took like barns and just made okay, that this is a store now. Like that's why it looks sketchy to me because there's no like big sign saying like, oh, this is that place. It's just a little old sign saying, hey, this place is that way, and it's just like a weird white building that looks like it's abandoned. It's kind of scared me. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, she doesn't
Um,
remember. We went to
what
a
was the
sex
first one?
store out in rural Pennsylvania that was
Oh
next
yeah,
to
that's
a
right.
strip club and a CBD store because apparently it's still illegal to smoke weed out in Pennsylvania, which I'm not used to
Yep.
because I came from California. Why don't you
Right.
tell them about that?
So like we pull up to like this store and it was kind of like up on this little mini hill that we had to go up, and it had like the three stores in a row. It was like what was the first one? It was like a sports bra. It was like a sports bar, sex store, and like something else. What was it? What was the other one?
It was a strip club.
Oh, a strip club, and it said sports
CD.
something.
Yeah, it was a strip club.
Oh.
It was most definitely a strip club because they had a van outside that said this area's best dancers.
Indubitably.
Yeah, it
So
was a
yeah, it
strip
had a
club.
strip club, a CBD place, and then a sex store, all in like one combined building. And it was even like an arcade like in the back of it. So like those things were like, in like all of in a line. So like I'm not used to like these stores looking like the way that they did. So to me, coming from big city, that looks sketchy as fuck. So I was pretty scared to go in there. And then we walked into the store and everything just seemed like kind of normal. Like we walked into a totally different place. I was like, oh, okay, this is fine then. But yeah, the first store that we went into was a sex shop.
Yep. While we were in there, we were just looking around, and Chris looked so weirded out because one of the employees actually came up to us and was like, "Hey, is there anything I can help you with? Do you guys have any questions?" And Chris was just like, "What?" So
Yeah,
why? Can you explain why you were so confused about that?
I'm from New York City. Ain't nobody gonna do that to you. They'd just be like, oh, okay, people are in here. Good luck finding your shit. Don't bother me unless you need something.
Okay, I'm used to many different environments because I actually grew up in the military. I grew up moving around place to place consistently, constantly, going from different cities to different towns to countries to just different areas. Actually, not countries, states. Different
There you
states
go.
to state to county. Just different environments where everyone acts differently. And I'm used to that. I forgot Chris wasn't. So this woman, she was super friendly and it was wonderful. But I didn't really need some help because I knew what we were going to get. And Chris was just like, why is she coming up to us? Are we in trouble or something? And that's what
I
her
thought she
face
was gonna
said.
ID us or something. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what the
She's
fuck
like,
is going on here?
oh. Chris was just looked so confused. And I was just like, okay. She's just going to come up, see if we need anything. And she asked if we need anything. I say no. Chris says no. And she just walks away normally because that's just what you do. So we go there,
I don't
we find our stuff, and my dumbass, thinking CBD and THC were similar, had Chris and I go over to the other store to pick up something to get high. Yeah, I was dumb. There was nothing in there that would get us high.
I was following you in there. I was like, why does he want to get like CBD oil stuff? And I like saw you looking at it, and that's when I made a comment. I was like, that CBD doesn't actually get you high; it's THC, and you could see like the realization, like in his eyes, like the light bulb go bing, like oh shit.
So, like, we just leave that area, and we start heading back, and we just spent the rest of the night in the hotel. But then we realized we had nothing to do on Sunday because this was all done on Saturday. Lots of events for a Saturday, especially because
Oh,
I went from working on Friday night, getting out at 11:30, then spending a few hours getting ready, and then just straight up driving, no sleep, just three things of Monster, two things of beef jerky, and I made it.
well, one and a half things of beef jerky because
Yeah,
there's still
one and
some
a
beef
half
jerky
things.
left.
So
But another thing that you did, don't forget, Saturday, what were you looking for that you went to 5 different stores for that I told you was going to be sold out anyway, but
oh
you
my
didn't want to
fuck.
listen?
Yeah, I wanted an Oculus Rift, even though Chris had one, because I wanted to play games together. And she constantly went, "There's not going to be one. There's not going to be one." I'm like, "No, I'm on a mission. I need to find this." And I'm a very stubborn bitch.
Hmm.
So I went to 5 different stores set on finding it. I wasn't successful because people are fucking assholes. Fucking
I tried telling him
buying
because
one.
literally the stimulus checks just came in like last week. Like everybody was buying shit in bulk. I witnessed it firsthand. My brother's shady friends brought like 20 PS5s and is trying to sell them. Like I tried telling him, I was like, people are buying these things out and like selling them like at like a gouged price because everybody's gonna be looking for them. He didn't want to believe me, but it wasn't until like the fifth store that he realized, okay, maybe she's right.
I may or may not have been contemplating going on to Craigslist, finding one of those shady people, knocking them out, taking the Oculus, and just walking away.
That's kind of rude.
It's rude of them to price gouge like that.
Rude of them to price gouge like that. Listen, I mean, people gonna do what people gonna do. You can't really do anything about it.
Then let me do
But
what I'm gonna do and knock them the fuck out.
sure.
That's
But
actually
after
not a smart thing. Don't do that ever. For
for
legal
legal
reasons, don't
reasons,
ever do that.
we just
But
said
yeah,
that.
while we were just in this bed chilling, relaxing,
Chilling. Hmm.
we realized we
What
didn't
we did
have
was
anything
relax.
to fuck off. We realized we didn't have anything to do after we woke up the next day. So we went out looking online to just try and figure out what we could do. What are some of the options I suggested?
The options were we could go out to eat for dinner, go find like some place to do archery, or go to a gun range or horseback riding.
So we went looking and we decided to try out this Mystic Trail on a horseback trail. We weren't able to get that one because this ranch was just exiting their winter season, meaning nothing in the mountains because it's not safe to. I was hoping we would have made it. We were like 2 days too early to hit that. So we went on a country road trail, which was still very beautiful. There's actually pictures of the trail out on our Twitter account, which is
Hmm.
at the Discord Brats if you want to go give us a follow there. So we get all the information and then we went to bed after that after playing her Oculus for like a couple hours.
I was knocking out. I was so tired. It was like 2 a.m. and I'm like just chilling on the bed. I'm watching them play and I'm like, all right, I think it's time for sleep. And then they beat the freaking campaign in like under 20 minutes. I was like, huh? Because they're playing the Creed game, and I was like, okay. And
Yeah, we kind of just speed ran it.
yeah, so that was interesting. And then we ended up going to sleep after we booked everything. And the next day comes,
We didn't actually book
and
anything.
oh wait, no, we didn't. We
Yeah,
knew what
because we
we
just
kind of wanted
went
to
to sleep
do.
knowing what we
Yeah,
wanted to do because we couldn't contact them yet. So
right. So we
then,
gotta wake up early to book it.
yeah, we woke up early and Chris calls them. I don't remember what she talked about, so you're gonna have to go for that.
So what happened was that I saw that they opened up at 9 a.m. and I wanted to really make sure because really nothing, if you really think about it, like nothing really went right this whole weekend except for us being able to actually get there safe.
Hmm.
Which thank God. But I decided I was like, you know what? Let's just wake up. They opens up at 9, so let's wake up at 9 so we can call and make sure we can get a spot for today. I called them twice. There was no answer, so I started getting a little upsetty spaghetti, and they ended up actually calling me back. So when they called back, I asked them what was available, and it's apparently, the Mystic Mountain that we wanted to climb. It was like it was like a 5-hour trail ride. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. They said that that's for the what was it, the spring of like the
The
summer trail riding.
spring
Yeah, the
and
spring.
summer trail, because
Yeah, so they had
that's
the
the only time it's safe to do it.
right, and the horses also didn't have their shoes on yet. So the
Hmm.
horses actually were supposed to get their shoes technically on that following Tuesday.
Today,
And they said that
actually.
they had the yeah. So they had they had this thing called the country roads. It was supposed to be like an hour and a half trail ride
Yep.
where you take like the back country roads and stuff. So we booked that, and it was very cheap too. It was under $100.
Yeah, it was 90 a person. It was
Yeah,
not bad at all.
it really wasn't. So we book everything, and now we're like racing. So like by the time we actually got out of bed and like got ready and shit, like I think we stood past checkout time for like an
Yeah,
hour,
by
maybe
an
two
hour and a
hours.
half,
They
the
called us.
hotel literally called to say, "Hey, do you guys need an extra day?" And we're like, "Nah, we're actually going to be down in 5 minutes.
Yeah, because like we were taking so long to get ready. Like they actually called us to see. It's like, these guys coming down? Like, what's going on here? But
Yeah,
yeah, we got everything. We actually still had some time to stop at Walmart and get food and all this other stuff. So we get to the ranch, and I'm like in awe of like everything that we were driving around because Red ended up driving up there because
yeah.
there's like really windy roads and stuff, and I'm just
I
like looking in the woods.
I took a look at the map before, and I noticed it was more of a mountain area. And if you've ever been in the mountains or foothills before, you know that the roads are very much different than a highway or city roads. So I
Hmm.
wanted to drive it because I know Chris likes to go zoom. And on those roads, she would not have been prepared and we probably would have crashed because she was not expecting it.
I did
And
pretty good on the way back though.
that's because you knew how to do it properly. You knew about them. You knew what to do to get there safely.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not like too stupid to see, oh, there's a turn there. I'm gonna go zoom zoom at 80 miles an hour, no not knowing if there's a car on the other side, like, you know. But I
You
saw the
said
creeks and that
you
was
s-
pretty.
you did say so yourself that you would not have done the turn slow enough.
You're right. Indubitably.
So
Indubitably, you do be right.
I drove us up there, which was no big deal because I enjoyed driving on those roads.
Hmm.
And literally for some reason, I don't know why, on the way up there was one area where my brain was like, oh, you know this place like the back of your hand. And I drove like I did. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it. I knew where to turn without looking at the map to get to where I wanted. And then that little area ended once we hit this tiny town. And Chris was like, oh, we in little towns, huh? Because we saw this town that had a church with a graveyard behind it, then and a corn farm on the other side. And then, like, maybe 500 yards to the left of that corn farm, there was another church with a graveyard behind it.
Reminded me of some like Children on the Corn type shit, like one of those like horror movies that happen like in those small towns.
Yeah,
That's what kind of scared me.
but yeah, when we get up there, Chris was like, are we in the wrong place? And I was just like, no, we're in the right place. And she was like, is there somebody here? It's like, there's somebody here. The dog's out. And she was so confused. She actually called them as I got the dog to come over. It was like, it's a dog. I gave it attention, then stopped because I knew it would return to its owner. And as I was following this dog, Chris was following me. Like, I don't want to get caught just walking around someone's home. And I'm like, this is what we're supposed to be. We're looking. I was like, look, there's someone in that barn. Then she pulls out her phone because Chris called. I was like, this is definitely it. The person sees us, hangs up on Chris.
No, I hung up on them actually.
Okay. I didn't know which one, but
Yeah, I got
someone hung
nervous
up,
and I hit end. I was like, click.
and then we go up. The woman, I forget her name, but she was super nice. She had us
Yeah, she
sign
was.
this little waiver, which I read over it. It was just a waiver to protect them from any lawsuits in case someone was an asshole and got injured via their own fault, and which was smart.
I got to brush the horse.
That was actually very smart. Yes, they were still getting the horses ready because this was actually a large group for a country road. There were 11 people. That is including the trail guides, and there are 3.
Mhm.
So there were like 8. Yeah, we're both bad at math, so it takes a second.
I got to brush the horses. They asked me if I wanted to help, so I said yes, and I
Yes,
got to
she
brush
got
them.
super excited brushing this one horse, which was absolutely gorgeous but huge.
He
It's
was
like the
16.3 hands high.
yeah, he was
He was projected to grow to 17.
and maybe higher. I forget what breed he is, but he's the same breed that knights would use to carry them into battle back in the
Mm-hmm.
Middle Ages. I
Yep.
Chris rode this shorter, stouter horse, which is just like her, short and stout but sturdy.
Tell them about the personality of this horse that had us both dying.
Oh,
The
Phoenix.
whore of the ranch. The
Oh
whore of the
yeah,
ranch. That's
her
what the
horse. Her horse would literally fuck any male just because she could, which was hilarious because that's Chris. Chris is a whore.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and I got paired with this beautiful white stallion. It was still a horse that I could actually put my armor on and go jousting or fight on that horse. And this horse was actually a bitchy ass, sassy asshole. Petty too,
which is
like me.
exactly what you are.
Exactly like me. So our horses matched us perfectly.
I mean, I would say my horse matched me perfectly, but my horse is kind of a bitch too because once we actually got onto the horses, there was this other horse that was behind me. I guess they don't like each other. And they decided they were going to put me to the back because my horse likes to buck at other ones, especially if they like fuck with them in the field. So as everybody's riding out to get onto the trail, one of the other horses decided that they were going to start shit with mine, and they started bucking at each other as we're
Oof.
like me and this other woman were on the horse. I don't know how, but it was like a freaking like another like an instinct of some shit that kicked in because I held on. Like I didn't hold on to like the saddle or anything. I had the reins in my hand. I shot my heels down, I squeezed the sides, and I got him like out of the way and got like my horse to like calm down and shit. And the woman was looking at me, and she's like, she saw it all happen. She looked at me and she said, "The way your horse was bucking, you should have gotten thrown off." And I was like,
And you're
no,
just like,
sir.
not today, bitch.
Not today. That happened one time, and that's not gonna happen again because the last time I rode a horse, I was 12 years old. It's about to be 11 years since the last time I got on a horse, and I used to take lessons as a kid. I did it for 7 years. And one day we waxed the saddles because it was raining and they didn't want us to go out. And the rain cleared up. So then when we went out, it started raining again, and they told us to all get off. And the way that they told me to get off the horse, the way I've always been taught, because I've been going to the same camp, is that you take your foot out of the stirrup, you take your right foot out of the stirrup, swing around, push yourself up, take your left foot out, and then hop down off. But as I went to push myself up to get my foot out of the stirrup, my left hand slipped, and I flipped over the horse, and I put my right arm to break the fall, landed on my right arm straight down, all my body weight right onto it, and my arm shattered into pieces.
Which is the exact way I was taught is the most dangerous way to get off the horse. I was taught to how knights would do it in combat because I do armored combat by an actual jouster. The way to get off a horse is you take one foot off out of the stirrup, swing over near the back, plant your foot onto the ground, and then pull your foot out.
Mm-hmm.
And if the horse is matched to your height, you should have no issues doing that. If you have issues, like riding a bike, it's too tall, too high. You need to get a shorter horse. So I take Chris is we'll get to that because that was at the end. But near the beginning, I was just riding this super sassy horse, having a fun time chatting with him. His name is Phoenix. I absolutely love the horse. Every time we go up there, I'm riding that guy. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm riding him. But it was actually surprising nobody got injured because near the beginning, these two kids came running down from this hill out of the
Oh
woods.
yeah,
And if you know
all of
anything about
them.
horses, they are animals of prey. They see something running towards them like that, they're gonna run. So all the horses get spooked and nobody fell off. If people had issues getting their horses under control, I was lucky to know how to ride very well. And my horse is fast. He is so fast. He almost booked it, but I was able to keep him calmer and get him under control, bring him back to the right side of the road, and just relax him before we started moving again.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody fell off. This ranch says the same prayer every single time. And that is okay with them. I don't mind that. I honestly don't care about that because my brain is saying if they didn't say that prayer, something probably would have happened. Because
Right.
as the owner said, people should have fallen off. Out of all eight guests, only three knew how to ride a horse. Chris hadn't ridden a horse in like 11 years. I hadn't ridden a horse in 2. The other one hadn't ridden a horse in 3. Other than that, they had never ridden on a horse before ever. So those people most definitely should have fallen off. And no one did. Not a single person fell off. The horses got very scared.
Yeah. No, it was a very scary moment, but
It was.
thankfully nobody got hurt, and we got everything under control, and we were able to be on our way.
Yeah, we just
Um,
kept going on our way. It was wonderful.
My horse actually kept getting spooked because the horse that was in front of me, one of the leaders that was like actually in front of me, for some reason her horse just kept tripping over nothing. So every time the horse stumbled, my horse got spooked. And then when my horse would get spooked, the horse behind me got spooked too, and we're all just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And like he kept bucking. There was another time where the horse that was behind me came up a little bit too close to my horse's ass, and my horse bucked at the other one behind it, and you could hear that hit. Like the hoof made contact with that poor horse's chest. Like you could hear that shit. And honestly, that's me because like if somebody gets too close to me, I'll bop bop you. I don't give a fuck. So I guess that's how my horse matched my energy. But there was a time because like she was telling me, the girl that worked there that was ahead of me, like she was telling me, she's like, oh, usually we stop for like grass breaks. So my horse decided that it wanted to eat food. This is how it's like me and Wells. If I want food, I'm gonna get food. I don't give a fuck what you say.
That is
Because
very
this
true.
bitch would stop walking, go to the side to eat off somebody's poor lawn. So I'm like, I'm just gonna let her. I'm not gonna rip her head up. Like, if you want to eat, you're hungry, you're hungry. And then the girl in front ahead of me, and she goes, oh, just take, just pull her head up. She'll be fine. Just keep going because we usually stop for grass breaks, but we're not gonna do that today. So I pull her head up and we go. And then this motherfucker starts shaking her head at me, gets the reins out of my hands, basically like a fuck you, and I'm gonna eat my grass anyway. So I pull her head up again. And she just kept pulling the freaking reins out of my hand. She would have kept pulling the reins out of my hand to the point where she was almost breaking my nails. And I gave up. I was like, you know what? You want to eat as you walk. Because this horse was literally eating, trying to eat like at the pavement at this point as it's walking. So I let go. And I was like, you know what? Do what you want, girl. I got no problem. But I guess this horse wanted to try and fuck the horse that was in front of me because it's a sled. Well, the horse in front of me wasn't having it because my horse got bucked and they almost started a fight. And I was like, oh, hell no, we're not starting this shit. Because, I don't know, God forbid a horse got up behind mine too close, it would buck. But this one, literally, the entire time, I shit you not, she had her head so far up this other horse, like the horse in front of her, so far up their ass, walking right beside them, like basically leaning her head on its backside, like no problem. And like the second another horse would do that to her, kick. Get out of my face. Like, get out of my ass. Like, I don't care. Like, it's a fucking little hypocrite little bitch. That's what my horse was.
This is hilarious to me because this is the first time I'm learning of this. Because unlike
I
what
gotta
we
save it for
wanted,
the podcast.
we wanted to like be next to each other because it was our first time riding horses in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my horse didn't have that. My horse was just like, no, we're being near the front. Fuck you. Like me, it goes where it wants. It doesn't listen unless it wants to.
Right.
So
That is so new.
it just ran up to it literally cantered up to the front. I cantered the most. Because if this horse wasn't where it wanted to be, it would go past the others to get near the front. Not past the front, near the front.
Right.
And
That's
like,
what my horse was doing too.
yeah, but not all the way to the front. It was just doing that to catch
No,
up
no,
with it.
not to the front. Yeah. But like I was kind of purposely holding it back so we'd have to trot up front. And this horse that I had the smoothest trot. And then once we got into the trotting mode, like the horse in front of me actually like went a little bit faster to where me and my horse went into a canter. And I rode horses for a while. I may have been a kid, but I don't have that best of a memory of my childhood, but like the horseback riding camps and shit that I went to, I do have a really good memory of. But let me tell you, the horse that I was on had the smoothest canter and the smoothest trot I think I've ever ridden. And the horse I used to ride was very bumpy when I was a kid, but this one, much better trained and much better with that stuff than like I've ever seen.
Oh my god, my horse, Phoenix, his canter is so smooth unless he's being a dick. Well, I was actually talking with one of the trail guides, and what they do every year is they do this parade, and they dress up in Renaissance garb, but they're all females, and they don't have a male rider. So I was like, I wear armor. I fight in armor. And I told them that, and they offered me to actually go back if I go back enough. Which I can guarantee you we will be going back to that range.
We will be.
Like
I want to do the 5-hour ride.
Chris and I are set on going back. We don't know when because we both have schedules. We have to work around that, but we will most definitely be going back. The reason why I want to is I want to actually talk with them and see if I can wear my legs, like my leg
Your
armor.
legs.
My
Oh,
leg
okay.
When I refer to my armor, I'm always referring it as my legs, my chest, my arms, my head,
Right.
because that's just where how I do it. But I want to see if I can wear the leg armor and get the horse used to the sound and the look and the scent of the metal. So
Hmm.
when it's that parade, I can be in my full kit while on the horse. Because pretty soon, I'm going to be taking a trip back up to California to A, buy an anvil off of my blacksmith mentor, pick up my helmet, and visit a couple friends. So that way I can get back to blacksmithing. Because
Right.
I've already worked out a deal with Ben where he's okay with me blacksmithing as long as it's in business hours. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'm starting to get things set up. I found a perfect base for my forge. All I need to do is just like get some wood to make as a base for my anvil, then chain the anvil to that base, get a stump for a wood anvil, and you're actually going to be learning about this because you want to learn about this, right?
Yes, I do.
So, Chris wants to become my blacksmithing assistant when she's up here, which is pretty
Hmm.
cool because it's always helpful to have an assistant.
There's always a good thing to have an assistant with everything.
Yes, there is. Another
I mean,
thing,
everything.
another reason why I kind of need to head up to California is I don't remember how to make the blueprints and the patterns for the armor because what I do is I buy sheets of metal, I cut them out, and then I hammer them into that shape. Just like basic geometry. And I don't remember how to make those blueprints, so I kind of need to head up to my mentor, get some blueprints. I want to challenge myself as well because I can make the basic armor. I know how to, and I'm okay at it right now.
Okay at it. I've seen your armor.
I'm okay at it right now. And
No,
I
you're
want
really
to
freaking good at it.
I'm the type of person that loves to challenge myself, so I want to make some horse armor for one of the other people's horses because they want their horse to have armor, and I low key kind of want to make Phoenix some armor as well. Because wouldn't it be badass to be riding a white stallion in my mild steel armor that has mild steel armor on as well?
I was watching you on that white stallion. You already looked hella badass to me. I gave my comments on that picture.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, I did not look like I rode every now and again to the guides and the other people that rode consistently. I still don't believe that, but I do know I did good because I
You did
didn't
amazing.
fall off when the horse spooked.
You did amazing, actually. But I have a question.
I have an answer.
Do you remember the dumbass blonde bitch moment I had?
No, please tell me about that.
What did I bring with me to the hotel for no
Oh
freaking
right, Chris
reason?
has become a full dice goblin. She unironically and unconsciously packed a set of dice. It is actually pretty fucking funny that she did that.
I didn't realize until I was unpacking my stuff and I went to my bag. I was like, "Is that my new set of dice?"
Back to the horses trail actually. Near the end, it was actually pretty chill. We had to go past. It actually took a lot longer than an hour and a half, almost 2.5 hours, because the lead horses, for some reason, did not want to keep going forward. We don't know why. So we kept stopping a decent amount, which I'm fine with. It was beautiful. I got some beautiful shots on my phone, which I'm still surprised about because two of those I was spun around while the horse was trotting, and every time I went to take a picture, Phoenix would actually start being more bumpy and bouncing me a lot more. Like he knew what I was trying to do and he wanted to be a dickhead about it. So I'm really surprised the pictures turned out clear. And one of them I actually took while we were on the canter, which is clear. Again, I'm super surprised. But yeah, near the end, we go to get out. And once we get back to the ranch, the leader, like the head rancher, tells us to get off the horses and says, "Don't worry, we can help you get off the horses." It was kind of funny because I go, like, one of the guides looks at me and goes, "Let me get off and then I can help you." As she was saying that, I actually got off the horse. She looks at me, sees me off, and goes, "Oh, you're off." I just casually go up to her. "Hey, could you hold Phoenix? I'm going to go help Chris." She goes, "Perfect." And she just did that while everyone else helped. I go to Chris, who looked terrified because she didn't want to break her arm again. So I
Yeah,
showed
I
her
was having
how
some
I get
bad
off.
PTSD.
Yeah, that's fine. I show her how I got off the horse, and I was right there with her, helping her get off the horse. And then she was like, the fuck? That was so easy. What was going through your head as you were getting off the horse the way I told you to?
The main thing that was going through my head is as I was pushing myself up, that my hand was gonna slip again, and I was gonna fall. Because
And,
I got up on the horse, no problem. I rode the horse, no problem. Like it's like riding a bike; you do not forget. And I
yeah.
rode it like a pro. But it was just getting off that initial thing because that was the last time I ever rode a horse. Was when I broke my arm. I ended up in the hospital for 3 days after the surgery. So that was the one thing that was going through my head. Like I don't want to fall. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. And then once he came right back at my side and he showed me that he was there and he was showing me how to do it, it was like a wave of like calmness, like, okay, like I got this. And then I got off and I kind of felt stupid. It was like, oh, that was easy. Okay. But he also told me the correct way on how to get off.
Yeah, she was about to jump out, take her foot out of the thing, and drop down. I was like, "Nope, don't do that. Leave one foot in so you're stable." And then she did that, and it was all right. And I was like, "Wonderful." So
Hmm.
then I head back to Phoenix, and we put the horses away. And now all I am is just excited to go back.
But the we did have a great time there, but all good things came to an end at one point, so we decided we were hungry. I decided I want pizza in rural Pennsylvania. I
Low
decided
key
that
a
I want
mistake. Low key a mistake.
not even high key a mistake. We get to the pizzeria again, another sketchy looking place. We get to the pizzeria, regardless, and there's a big sign. What did it say? Danger. The New York pizza is highly addictive, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Let me
Um.
tell you, that was no New York. That was New York Chuck E. Cheese pizza. It wasn't real New York pizza. They gave
No.
us
No.
pizza and it looked like Chuck E. Cheese pizza, but tasted 50 times worse than it. The sauce was disgusting. The texture of it was gross. I just ate it because I was hungry. I was like, fuck this shit, it's pizza.
Yeah, we were both pretty hungry from the horse ride, so we were just like, okay, this was a mistake.
Yeah. So we got that, and we had our pizza, and then we already checked out of the hotel, so we knew it was time. We were getting close to the time we had to go home. We went to AutoZone because the night before he had me drive his car, and I noticed that the lights were a little bit darker than most cars, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
one of the headlights was
yeah,
out.
yeah. What the headlight? He's just nonchalantly driving without a headlight, and I looked at him and I was like, you can get a ticket for that, right? He had no idea you can get a ticket for this. If your headlights, high beams, backup lights, brake lights, the little light that's in the top of your trunk that goes off when you hit the brakes, any light like that is all out. You can get a ticket for that.
Yeah, I didn't
So we
know
are
that.
going over to AutoZone to go pick up lights. And we got a little LED light for his top car, which is awesome because now he has brighter lights on the inside.
And I was a dumbass and
I'm
got
looking
my
through the
own
book.
car's model incorrect.
I asked him, "What kind of car do you have?" And I'm looking underneath the correct one, and I'm looking at Toyota Corolla. He said, "No, it's Camry. It's Camry." I'm like, "Okay, it's Camry." It was Corolla.
It was Corolla. So I actually
But
had today. I actually had to. No, it was
yesterday,
yesterday that I went to AutoZone, traded it out. That was a whole ordeal because one of my roommate's old bosses was here to like pick a bone with him or something, and he was blocking the driveway, so I had to like spend a few minutes to go figure that bullshit out, just send the guy on his way, and then I fixed my headlights and it was all good.
but we got back to the hotel because we took my car out to the ranch, and then we left his car at the hotel. So I've taken two cars. Plus, we get to spend more time together because I'm a sloppy
Mm-hmm.
mess like that. Um, but yeah, we took our time with the headlights and stuff like that, and figured out that he got the wrong one, so like fuck it, and
She didn't know that you
oh yeah,
could add oil to your car on your own.
no, I knew you could do it, I just didn't know where.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I checked my oil. Oh boy, I'm so glad I did. That bitch was almost empty. That would have been dangerous.
Yeah,
So
you
I
ended up
added
fucking
the
her
oil.
good.
I added the oil, fixed that, showed her where to find the oil thing on her car, checked her oil level. It was perfect. And
Because
then,
my car is brand new and I just got an oil change. Of course it's gonna be perfect, or
okay.
else I gotta talk to the guys.
And then we went on our way and started heading home.
And I cried
Yes, because she
because
missed
I'm a
me.
sappy mess.
And I'm a dumbass because I tried to stay awake, but I started falling asleep mid drive, so I had to pull over. So again, I
Were
was
you
in.
nervous, Mark?
So I was an hour behind her because the first time I left my wallet in the house after I left and had to come back so I could get gas. The second time, I needed to take a 30-minute nap, which put me back an hour apparently. So I make it home safe. She made it home safe, and we just had a wonderful time. It was supposed to be just a simple meetup that turned into a complete weekend getaway.
Well, I think we were just kind of planning it for it to be a complete weekend getaway. I mean, we were just planning originally on just meeting up on like for like one day, but then I really thought about it. It was like we're both gonna drive out there 3.5 hours each, and
For
it's
a
like we're
day.
gonna drive back on the same day. Yeah, no, that's not. You need to stay at least like the night.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's too
understandable.
tired. It's way too tiring for that because you're coming from work, and I'm like and then you're gonna stay up all day, come from work, pull an all nighter, stay up all day, and then drive home the same day. It's insanity.
Yeah,
It's
that would
suicide.
be really fucking stupid. So we got sleep, went home Sunday, had fun, and now we are just waiting for schedules so we can plan it the next time. Hopefully it's
Yep.
next week. I'm honestly perfectly fine just casually getting next Sunday off and then going up for just a day just to go ride those horses and then heading home.
I don't know. We're gonna see what happens,
Cuz
but we will definitely.
honestly, it'd be worth it to go to Chris, ride the horses, have fun, and then see Chris again, spend a bit of time, and then head home.
Because I'm adorable and you miss me. That's why.
That is why.
And they miss you too. No, this time
But
we're actually gonna have a set plan,
yeah,
and
ooh,
I'm gonna make sure those plans are set in
ooh,
motion.
what if they don't work out?
Shut the fuck up. No, because next time we go out, I'm gonna book. I'm gonna make sure we book it in advance, and I'm going to book the freaking room for 2 days. So when we pull the shit again, where we leave at 3 o'clock in the morning, fuck that, we're leaving at 2. We leave at 2 o'clock in the morning, or we leave at midnight, whatever time it is we decide to leave. That room will be ready for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was my fault because I booked it for Saturday into Sunday, and I called Friday night into Saturday to see if it was ready. And they said, yeah, no, sorry, somebody booked it. And that was the room that the person fucked up the whirlpool with. So,
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
it's not going to. I won't let it. And plus, I have points now that I could use to get some percentages off because I stay at that freaking hotel so goddamn much.
Yeah, that's fine. But it is closing in on an hour, so this will be our longest episode yet. How interesting is that?
Cut it all out. Cut it all out.
Cut it all out. It's all gone. But yeah, it's almost hitting an hour, so we're just gonna end it here. Is there anything you have to say before you do our little outro?
Nope. I think I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm pretty good.
So I just want to thank everybody so much for listening in again, and we'll be back next week, Saturday at 12 p.m. You can join us on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and Amazon Music, or any Alexa device. Please make sure you're hitting that subscribe or follow button to stay updated when a new episode comes out. And you could also follow us on Instagram for any and all updates. My handle is CSEV97, and Red's is Redmoonsystem. We're also on Twitter, so make sure you're following that to keep updated on pictures and polls and anything else regarding the show. We are the Discord Brats, and until next Saturday, peace out.